Hi everybody, and welcome to another Thrift Store Tech Goodwill Clearance Center haul video. This is my run from today, and not quite as much as I usually end up with, and not a whole lot that's very exciting tech-wise, but I do have a few gems in here, and I'm looking forward to sharing them with you. So let's just dive right in. Let's take a look. Just to start off here, I'm sure you're noticing this. This is a big old bag of Nerf darts. My grandson is a huge Nerf fan, and what I'll do throughout the year is I will just go and grab any Nerf darts that I find in the bins, and I usually find at least a few. This was kind of an exception to the rule because I found quite a few today. But in the end, for his birthday in the summer and for Christmas in the winter, I'm able to give him a nice hefty supply of Nerf darts. This past Christmas, I was able to give him 2 gallon-sized Ziploc bags stuffed full. And he loves it because then he doesn't have to keep track of as many Nerf darts, because those things can go everywhere. Over here, have a set of Prismacolor new pastels, 12 count. And just for anyone who says nothing good ever turns up at Goodwill, these were brand new. Just brand new, beautifully in their package. Package was open, but apart from that, brand new. Just a notch below sealed. I've got some friends who will just love using those. Over here, any of you who are Whovians in the audience, I'm sure noticed this. This is Riversong's mini journal from Doctor Who. The character of Riversong in the series keeps a journal that is decorated to look like the doors of the TARDIS. If you know, you know. Down here, you may have remembered in previous videos I mentioned that I'm a teacher and I use Pokemon cards for reinforcers, and so I grab them whenever I go. So I grabbed 6 today. You know, I can't complain. Pennies for them. Over here, have a deck of tarot cards. Now, my wife runs a tarot channel called Thorns and All, where she does readings and stories, and it's a fun little one to check out. She's given me plenty of shout-outs. The least I can do is give her one. That channel is Thorns and all one word, and she goes by Auntie Rose. But usually, if I find tarot decks, I'll end up grabbing them for her if I think she'll like the style. This one I kind of grabbed for me just to try to keep up because it actually has the meanings of the cards printed on them. So just for my own reference to be able to figure out what she's talking about half the time. I mean, she does explain it, but still, I like the idea of having a reference. Over here, more for school, just a card for the kids. I usually have these out at lunch for the kids to play with when they're done eating, so they don't get bored and start causing trouble. 2 gig SD card. This was fun because it was actually stuck into a very dirty, very beat-up Wii, and it turned out to have Wii modding software on it, which I already have some that I use, so I don't really need it, but just to have on hand for future Wii mods. There were also a bunch of pictures on there from somebody's wedding, including videos of them planning the wedding. People, please, if you're going to donate, just reformat your cards or don't donate them, because I have absolutely no ill intention toward anyone, so I'm not going to use any of that information or pictures for nefarious purposes, but you never know who's going to get a hold of it. Okay, public service announcement over. This one's just a small flashlight. Nothing too amazing, but the pen shape reminded me of code cylinders from Star Wars. I did an Imperial officer costume for this past Halloween, so I may just add this in to my cheap code cylinder collection. Just repaint it a bit and rework it a bit. This one, I mentioned my grandson before. This past Christmas, I gave him his first BB gun, and he absolutely loved shooting with it. So I managed to come across these. These are actually adhesive targets that will show little surrounding indicators when the target has been hit. So I grabbed that. They're just little adhesive ones. I think we can have some fun with those when we get together. Over here, nothing too amazing, just some extra hangers. We were running low, and the clearance center charges a whopping $1 for 10 of them, so can't go too wrong. Ooh, we're getting down to the wire here. Actually, since I just knocked this over. This is a manual for a sewing machine, the FAF Creative 1475 CD. I grabbed these. I don't have this specific machine, but I did grab these because they do have some resale value. Original manuals can usually go in the $20 to $30 range, so we'll see. That'll probably pay for today's trip. This one I was excited about. This is a power supply for a little netbook. I love netbooks. I have a couple of them. And last time I picked one up was at the Clearance Center in Texas. I spoke about that one in another video. But I happened to find the correct power supply with it, and it looked just like this one. So I grabbed this one, and sure enough, it works with the other netbook that I have on hand. So win-win there. For my other hobby of sewing, just an extra zipper to have on hand. I think I'm going to be doing another Imperial Officer at some point soon, so might as well have the zipper on hand for it. For just garage utilities, just some cable zip ties. These always come in handy. This I found interesting. This was a TracFone Nokia 2760 Flip, and what I found interesting is that it's totally sealed. It has never been opened, and not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. Probably just sell it and move it on, and hope that it was scanned in wherever it was and not just stolen. But completely sealed up in its package, brand new. Not too bad. This one is just a little light that I got for when my wife and I go camping. So we have bright, we have dim, just a little Bob's Burgers keychain for my youngest daughter. She's a huge fan of Bob's Burgers, and that kind of matches her attitude sometimes about going places. Fine, I'll go, but I'm going to complain the whole time. This I thought was interesting. This is a vintage Apollo 15 pin with the names of the astronauts on them, Scott, Warden, and Irwin. Pretty rusted out on the back, but I should be able to clean that up a bit with a wire brush. Just a fun little collectible. And this one, this is just the cream of the find today. And I got really excited when I saw this because I saw it with the package half open. Now, at first glance, I mistook this for an old school MP3 player like the Creative Nomad jukebox that I used to have back in the day. It looks very similar to it, but it's not. And the more I looked around it, the more I realized there's no headphone jack. What is this? There's a multi-card slot reader, a charge port, USB port, and a compact flash card reader. And what this is it's for putting memory cards in and transferring what's on those cards to an internal hard drive here. It's a 60 gigabyte hard drive in there. I thankfully have a cable that will charge it, but this will come up here in just a moment, and there is some stuff on here. I haven't checked it out. I can feel the hard drive vibrating in there, but this looks so much like the Creative Nomad. I was just drooling for a second until I realized what it was, and then I was still excited, but just not quite as much. Or one last bit, for those of you who saw my last video, you may have seen the Cassiopeia that I had. Got it to stop showing owner's information when it turned on. But last time you saw this, it had a big extra battery on the back, and it was running off of that like it was on life support. I did get the other battery in, and I was able to install it in here and put the cover back over it so it doesn't look like it's quite so desperate anymore. Hopefully this won't be too jarring of an insert, but I just realized I forgot to show the receipt for today. So they charged $5 for the boxed phone, $1 for the hangers. The rest of it was by weight at 2.5 pounds at $2.09 a pound, so $5.23. So a total of $11.23 for everything that you saw. Anyway, those were today's thrift store finds, and I hope you all are having a great day. If you have your own thrift store finds, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. As always, have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.